The glass shattered before I even realized I'd dropped it. It hit the marble floor and exploded into 1,000 tiny pieces that glittered beneath the chandeliers like cruel, mocking stars. Across the room my wife was laughing, head tilted back, lips red, eyes bright. And in front of her, his hand rested against the small of her back as they moved together in rhythm. Ethan, my best friend. Their laughter blended with the music, soft jazz that felt suddenly suffocating. I could still feel the sting of her perfume on my shirt. She'd hugged me when we arrived, whispered something about how proud she was of me. I'd believed her. Now, watching the way she leaned into him, fingers grazing his chest as she twirled, I felt something twist deep in my stomach, something raw and feral that I didn't recognize in myself. The night had started like any other of our social circle's gatherings. My wife, Claire, had spent the entire afternoon picking out a dress, one that shimmered like liquid gold under the soft light of our bedroom. I told her she looked beautiful. She smiled and kissed my cheek, distracted as if her mind was elsewhere. We'd been married for 6 years. Long enough for me to notice when her silences changed tone. Lately she'd been distant, working late, smiling less, scrolling through her phone with a faint secretive smile. I told myself it was stress, that we were both busy, that love changes shape but doesn't fade. Denial can sound a lot like logic when your heart is breaking slowly. Ethan caught her hand as the music shifted into something slower. He looked over at me, that easy grin still on his face, like he wasn't holding the woman I'd built my life with. "You mind if I borrow her for a dance, man?" he'd said earlier, patting my shoulder. It had sounded harmless, playful, friendly. Nodded, because that's what trusting husbands do. But now, as they moved, his hand tracing the curve of her back, her eyes never once flicking toward me, I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. Something that had probably been there for months. Hidden in the moments between glances, in the texts she never let me see. When she laughed again, he leaned in close, whispering something into her ear. She blushed. My heart clenched. I felt the air leave my lungs in a rush, and the chatter around me faded into static. All I could hear was the pounding of my own pulse. I stepped outside for air, but the night didn't help. The cold bit at my skin, yet I was burning from the inside. The moonlight glinted off the surface of the pool, and for a second I saw my reflection. Jaw tight, eyes dark, hands trembling. I'd always thought betrayal would come like lightning. Quick, obvious. But it doesn't. It seeps in slowly, like a leak in the foundation. You only notice when the house is already falling apart. When I walked back inside, they weren't on the dance floor anymore. That's when something in me snapped. I moved through the crowd, scanning faces, ignoring the laughter, the clinking glasses. I caught sight of her in the corner near the hallway to the guest rooms. Ethan was there too, his hand brushing a strand of hair from her face. She didn't pull away. My chest tightened. "Claire," I said, voice low. She jumped, eyes wide. "Mark." Ethan turned, too casual, too calm. "Hey man. Everything okay?" I stared at his hand, still half raised toward her, and all the tension I'd been swallowing for months turned to something sharp and blinding. "Take your hand off her," I said. His grin faltered. "Relax, man, it's not what you think." I don't remember throwing the punch. I just remember the sound. The dull, sickening crack as my fist connected with his jaw. He hit the ground hard, eyes wide in disbelief. Gasps echoed around us, the music screeching to a stop. And then silence. Claire was the first to move. "Mark, what the hell is wrong with you?" she screamed, kneeling beside him. Not running to me. Not defending me. Kneeling beside him. That told me everything I needed to know. I wiped the blood from my knuckles, heart pounding. "You've been lying to me," I said quietly. "For how long?" Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked at Ethan, not at me. That silence. God, that silence broke something inside me that no punch ever could. The guests pretended not to stare as I walked out. The night air felt heavier now, like even the world didn't want to let me breathe. By the time she caught up to me in the parking lot, I was already unlocking the car. "Mark, please," she said, grabbing my arm. "It's not what it looks like." I turned to her, and for the first time I saw her clearly. Not the woman I'd married, but the one she'd become. Someone capable of deception wrapped in soft words and careful smiles. "It's exactly what it looks like," I said. "And maybe that's the problem. I just never wanted to see it." She was crying now, mascara streaking down her cheeks, voice trembling. "I made a mistake. I didn't. He was just there when you weren't. I didn't mean to fall for him." Her honesty landed like another blow. I took a step back. "Then I guess this is where we both stop pretending." She reached for me, but I pulled away. I left her standing there, surrounded by the glow of the party lights fading behind her. That night, I drove until the city disappeared in the rearview mirror. The radio played softly, some love song that felt cruelly ironic. My knuckles throbbed, my chest ached, and I realized that sometimes the knockout isn't physical. It's the moment you finally see the truth for what it is, and it hits harder than any fist ever could.